Here we go, it's the Poff Pass Show. You didn't know it's the Poff Pass Show. Me and my bro, it's the Poff Pass Show. We do it, bro, it's the Poff Pass Show. It's Poff
Back. Poff Pass Show. JP Blaze in the house. Me, I'm Zach Poff. Also, the ZPC King. We got a lot on tap.
The JPC King is coming short behind you this week.
And especially with all the Laker pickups they've had. We'll get to that later. We got NBA free agency on tap. That's why I got the Kevin Durant shirt on today.
Yeah, sorry, I left my Mozgov shirt at home.
We got some MLB we're going to talk about. Buy or sell, which teams are going to make the playoffs or which teams are going to kind of tank. We got some UFC trivia on tap. We talked UFC 200 a couple weeks ago, so we're going to just do a little UFC trivia. Yeah. See what this guy can do.
I'm aiming for 30%, baby. Let's go.
2 out of 8, right?
Yeah. Shut up.
He's a beast. And
come on, man.
Now, speaking of come on, man, let's talk about some of these juicy NBA free agent contracts. Unreal. As of right now, July 1st, Mike Conley, highest paid player in the association. Making it rain, baby.
I mean...
What do you think about that? Is Mike Conley, I mean, he is a max type of player, but he should not be the highest paid player. Obviously, the salary cap goes up.
Yeah. Well, that record's not going to last that long. I will say that because let's remember, the big dog's still on the plate, and there's a lot of other big free agents still out there, too. And if not this year, next year, when it can even expand to more of a salary cap for teams, that record's going to get blown away. But still, if you look at Conley right now for how much he got paid, man, he came up fat.
Let's look at some of the guys. Hassan Whiteside surprised me a bit. I thought he was going to end up going to Dallas. He ended up going back to Miami, 4-year, $98 million deal. Nice pickup. I think Pat Riley might have had his family and said, listen, you're not going anywhere, Hassan, until you sign on the dotted line. Pat Riley, just OG.
He makes him sign. Yeah.
And DeMar DeRozan staying in Toronto 5 years. He got the max deal, $139 million. Yeah. He was the highest paid player annually until Mike Conley came up.
And there's going to be a few other players past Conley as this season goes on and next year especially too. So
now
let's keep that in mind.
Look at Dwight Howard, also 3 years, $70 million deal with the Atlanta Hawks. He is going back home. One of just an absolute stud, playing high school out there in the Georgia area.
Wait, a stud in high school, right?
Yeah. Hey, Dwight Howard is still a top 5 center in the NBA.
He wasn't when he was on the Lakers.
He was still averaging double-double.
Actually, he was pretty. But
look at some of these contracts, though. You got Timofey Mozgov. 4 years, $64 million for a guy that played a total of 75 minutes in 21 postseason games.
Yeah.
Did you guys overpay for him, maybe?
Just a little bit. You can say that. I don't even want to talk about this. It was such a bad signing. I can't remember what the guy's name on ESPN, but he had a great point. The Lakers aren't an elite team anymore.
Brian Windhorst.
Yeah, Brian Windhorst. When it comes down to Brian Windhorst telling you your team's not legit and they're not elite anymore, and you have to accept that truth, it's hard. But honestly, it was horrible. I went to bed last night dreaming that maybe Whiteside was going to sign with the Lakers. I woke up to Mozgov. So that just shows you the kind of day I had today. It's not been a fun day for a Laker
Jake's been a little crabby today.
I've been really crabby today.
Now, some other deals. Matthew Dellavedova, the same Dellavedova.
Yeah.
4 years, $38 million deal with the Milwaukee Bucks.
I'm surprised the Lakers didn't sign him with Mozgov in a package deal the way this day's going.
Evan Fournier, 5 years, $85 million. Can we get some more money? This is ridiculous. Wow. Evan Fournier, $85 million. Man.
This is if you wanted to go to the NBA, this is the generation you wanted to be in. And it's only going to get better for the future generations coming in.
I posted this earlier on Facebook. Timofey Mozgov's contract, more guaranteed dough than Andrew Luck has guaranteed in the contract he just signed.
And what's funny is next year, since Steph Curry hasn't signed a max deal, Mozgov is going to get paid more than Steph Curry next year.
Wow, I didn't know that. That is the back-to-back and first-time unanimous MVP is making less than
a bench player that played, 10 minutes?
What were his numbers? You wrote them down.
I will save that for my come on man later. I'll give away the spoiler. It's pretty obvious today.
Speaking of the Lakers, though, good job by them to bring back Jordan Clarkson, sign him on a 40-year, $50 million deal. So they didn't have to worry about
I'm really happy with the Clarkson signing.
Jordan Clarkson, a really good kind of combo guard, kind of more a two guard in my opinion.
Yeah.
Evan Turner got paid by the Blazers, 4 years, $70 million. A solid pickup, but I look at him as a poor man's Nicholas Batum. Yeah. So I don't think they really improved.
Speaking of Nicholas Batum,
Batum got paid, 5 years, $120 million.
You know what, though? He had a really solid performance last year, I thought, and he had some big games in the playoffs,
No.
too, for that team. So
I
don't mind that deal. I
Yeah.
think he actually is worth the money. He's more worth it than Mozgov. I can tell you that much for sure.
Hey, Brian, keep track of the Mozgov thing. I'm going to say over-under at 10. Jake hating on Mozgov.
Oh, it's going to
Easy
be over 10, easy. My
Now-
come on man will have over 10.
A couple other guys, Jeremy Lin, 3 years, $36 million. He's going back to the New York area, but going to Brooklyn this time around. And Kent Bazemore re-up with Atlanta, 4 years, $70 million, and he'll be there with Dwight Howard, obviously. So that probably means Al Horford is going to be leaving, with the Atlanta Hawks bringing in Dwight Howard. The Houston Rockets are a team. I would have said the Lakers could have made a push at Al Horford, but they're spending their money on some other center named, what was his name again?
Mozgov.
That's right, that's what it was.
Horrible.
And Bradley Beal, 5 years, $128 million. Good job to keep him around. Knew he wasn't going anywhere, restricted free agent. Drummond staying in Detroit also. Chandler Parsons, I like this pickup for Portland. 4 years, $94 million. Chandler Parsons.
Wait, Memphis, right? No,
I
Memphis.
meant Memphis, yeah, my bad. Memphis with Mike Conley. And I like that pickup for Memphis. The one thing Memphis hasn't had is a guy that can knock down shots and score. That's exactly what Chandler Parsons
And I'm pretty sure
does.
they were one of the worst shooting teams in the league last year. If there's
Now-
anything they need, it's shooting for sure. So
Before we get out of here, some big free agents still haven't signed. He is one of them. Now, Chris Broussard just reported.
Yeah,
moments,
who did?
Chris. He. I know he's not always right, but he
but
did.
not many of them are. But okay.
Kevin Durant blown away by the Los Angeles Clippers presentation with DJ Blake, Doc Rivers, Steve Ballmer.
He was blown away how stupid the owner is. I mean, he's probably in there trying to slam dunk on him. Who knows what the owner
I could just
did
see that
there.
owner just.
I could see him in there doing the Durant jersey.
Kevin Durant, you're gonna sign with us, and you know what? I love it. Like he is Jake when he does a beast, but that's him 24/7, 365.
I mean, he's on a whole new level.
I think this is where Kevin Durant is going to end up. He's going to go back to Oklahoma. They brought in Victor Oladipo, one of his really good friends.
At
both
least for this
Washington,
year.
DC
I think if he does sign somewhere else, it will be next year. That's kind of the most common take I've heard on where Durant's going to end up. He'll end up in Oklahoma City.
He's going to sign the 2-year deal, opt out after one.
Yeah.
And LeBron James will probably do the same thing with Cleveland, too. So I think that's where that's going. Well, we hit on most of the free agents here. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to try and predict what some baseball teams are doing, including your LA Dodgers. We'll be right back.
If you have an interest in a career in sports broadcasting,
whether it's behind the scenes or on camera,
then this is the class for you.
Class is held every Wednesday from 1:30 to 4:30 in room 121 alongside the library building.
For more information, contact Greg Poff. That's me at Solano.edu.
we hope to see you here next semester. And remember,
it's more than just sports. It's an education.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Little baseball talk. We're not going trivia just yet.
Yeah.
We're going to wait off on that
Thank
a little
God.
bit. So what we're going to do here is we're going to talk Major League Baseball and talk about a lot of teams that are either in first place or contending. Play a little game, buy or sell. If you know, obviously if you're buying them, you think they're going to go to the postseason, have a chance to win a World Series. If you're selling, done. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
So let's start up first. We got to start with the hottest team in Major League Baseball, the Cleveland Indians.
Man.
They've won a franchise record 14 games in a row, including today's game where it went 19 innings, I believe, and was over 6 hours long.
Yeah.
Trevor Bauer had to come out of the bullpen, and he ended up getting the win. Indians, are you buying or selling? They're 49-30 in first place, and you know who's trailing them? The reigning World Series champs, the Kansas City Royals.
And not just the Royals, you also have Detroit, which is another team that is definitely capable of making a run, but right now, I'm buying, and here's why: they're pitching.
Yeah.
The one thing that the Cleveland Indians have is a starting rotation,
And they're young.
They're all young, and I believe in their last 8 or 9 games, their starting rotation has the ERA around 2.50. So they're getting it done, and they're getting it done and getting to their bullpen early, which is also very sound and very solid. And one thing we know is if you have pitching, that's what you need when going into the playoffs. And when you win 14 games like you're able to, and they have guys in the lineup that can do some damage too, I'm buying right now.
Yeah,
I mean, pitching wins in the playoffs, and that's one thing this team has right now, and they've proven it.
I'm right there with you. I'm buying with the Indians. I mean, you got guys like Carlos Carrasco, Trevor Bauer, Danny Salazar, and a guy that's been pitching really well this year is Josh Tomlin. He's been solid, and he's a good fourth guy.
He got me a quality start against you this week, actually.
And I dropped him, of course. And also offensively, you got Francisco Lindor. This kid, one of the best young shortstops in all of baseball. Jason Kipnis, the guy that's been doing it for the last 5 years.
Kipnis has been solid the last couple years.
And a lot of people are forgetting Michael Brantley hasn't even played a game this year, and he was arguably their best player. Carlos Santana's been good this year also. Juan Uribe, Dodgers, I like the guy. So
yeah, always been Uribe guy. The only thing that can happen in Cleveland is if some of those starters start getting hurt.
Yeah.
And if some of those guys in the rotation, or they stop performing
and
well.
what's funny is a lot of those guys were on the market during the offseason, but luckily for Cleveland, and I know Brian loves Terry Francona. He got you a couple rings too, so he is a really good manager on top of that. Let's move on. Up next, a young team, a lot of hype coming into the year, had a terrible start. The Houston Astros.
Yeah.
They got a kid, Carlos Correa. You can make a case he is one of the top 10 players in all of baseball. They're 42-37. Been playing really well as of late, though. Things are starting to click. Bullpen might be an issue for the Astros.
Yeah.
And that's the one scary thing with Houston. But you buying or selling the Astros? Jose Altuve.
I don't think they'll win the division. I think Texas just has too much of a jump on them, and the way Cole Hamels is playing, and then they also have their starter. Oh, what's that guy's name who's been hurt and actually came back?
On.
I can't think of his name right now.
Come on. You
Darvish, baby. You Darvish coming back. He's been pitching pretty well. But I do think the Astros are capable of making the playoffs. When you have, like you were talking about, Correa and also Altuve, who's a great hitter, with those two, George Springer, not with only those two hitting the bat, but with those two on defense.
Yeah.
Probably the best infield defensively in the game, or one of the best.
Two up the middle, right?
Yeah, best of two up the middle by far. So when you have good defense and you have a team like Houston who has some playoff experience and had a nice run last year.
And Dallas Keuchel hasn't pitched like the AL Cy Young Award winner he was last year, too. If Dallas Keuchel can get things going, he sets the tone for that rotation. The guys like Colin McHugh start to pitch better.
Yeah.
Lance McCullers, the younger guy, kind of been a little banged up this year. But the bullpen is the thing that scares me with the Houston Astros.
The bullpens are one question mark. And like you said, their starters haven't been that great so far, but they have guys that are capable, which means I think they'll be able to do enough to get that wild card spot.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Astros will find a way to get one of the two wild card spots. Now, one of the other places the wild card team might come up is the AL East. Now, what I want you to do, JT, is I'm going to name you off the 3 contending teams.
Yeah.
And neither are the New York Yankees. So Yankees are right at 500 right now. We're going to talk about the 3 teams over 500. Baltimore Orioles in first place as of July 1st, 47-31. Toronto Blue Jays, I believe they're 43-39 now after that loss to the Cleveland Indians. And then our producer, director, Brian Nelson's squad, the Boston Red Sox, 42-36. Out of these 3 teams, Jacob, who are you buying and who, I guess you're selling the other 2. Why would I ask that?
Yeah. Well, they're 2. One team could win the division and one could make the playoffs.
That's true. So yeah, there we go.
And actually, that's my prediction right now. If I had to pick a team of those 3, I'm picking Boston. That not only for you, my boy Brian back there, but more importantly, what do we know about Boston? They're willing to spend money.
They are.
And one thing I think they're going to do
is right.
The price is right, and they're going to add more to that price. I think they're going to be getting another big starter.
They might be selling some other type of way.
Yeah. But still, who was the pitcher? Chris Sale.
I thought that would give you the clue.
I totally forgot. But imagine if the possibility of Price playing with Sale, and then you look at that powerful lineup. They're one of the hottest lineups in baseball right now, too.
Having
It's maybe his best year yet, and the guy is, almost 40?
I don't know if a little bit of this is going on with Big Poppy.
I don't know what's going on, but you have guys like Big Poppy. They have so many. Hanley. Don't forget about Pedroia, who's always been one of the most consistent hitters in the league. And they have a lot of young guns who have come up and really proven a lot.
I saw this crazy stat, too. The new third baseman, I believe it's Travis Shaw. But he's had more 5 RBI games than anybody in all of baseball.
That team can put up runs.
Xander Bogaerts, Mookie Betts, 2 of the best young players
exactly.
in the game.
And they start off the year so hot. I just think with that explosive lineup, and Boston's a type of team who makes big moves. I'm picking them.
What I'm getting out of this is you're selling the Toronto Blue Jays, arguably the best hitting team in the America. The Baltimore Orioles, who are 47-31 right now, have a nice little lead on both of these teams.
I honestly, this is my real prediction. I actually think all 3 of these teams will make it for the wild card.
So
I think
that would mean Houston's out.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I think it's going to be. Here's my point. It's
Dick's
going to
got
be
9 wild card
Yeah, I
teams.
got 9 wild card teams. But that's the beauty of baseball right now.
I
Is
love
so
it.
many teams can make that wild card spot. But if I had to pick, Boston's the team I take, and the other team I really like is Baltimore. But the reason I don't think Baltimore is going to win the division is I have no idea how their starting rotation has gotten them this far. Their lineup is explosive, but they just don't have the pitching, I think, long term
Chris
that's going to
Tillman,
sustain.
Ubaldo Jimenez.
I mean, and if you look at Baltimore, put up the record for most home runs this last month? I think it was 55, or franchise record for them. That is not going to keep hold.
And
I don't think
tell you
that's
what,
going to keep up.
If the Baltimore Orioles want to win a World Series, the solution's easy. Fire Buck Showalter. Look what Arizona did when Buck got canned. Even when he was with the Yankees, he got canned, and the Yankees won more than a few World Series after that.
It's
if
hard
you really
making that
wanna
argument,
win,
though.
Get Buck out of town. Buck Showalter, though, is one of the best managers.
Yeah, one of the best
in
managers.
all of baseball. I'm buying the Toronto Blue Jays for sure. And I'm going with you. I like the Red Sox too. I think they have more money to spend.
You think Baltimore is going to lose that
do.
spot? Yeah, it's possible. I mean, if they're hitting,
so
it goes
real
down.
quick before we get to the National League teams, let's run through a little AL prediction for the playoffs.
All right.
I'll do mine real quick. AL West, Texas Rangers are going to win that division. AL Central, I like the Cleveland Indians to hang on because of their young pitching. And the AL East, man, I don't know. This is tough. I'm going to go with the Boston Red Sox because, as you said, I think they're going to be aggressive at the trade deadline.
They always are.
They will acquire another arm, and they have in the back end with Craig Kimbrell and who's the other guy y'all got?
Wait, who
Koji Uehara.
Yeah,
he's
Koji
also
Uehara.
a very good setup guy, too.
I mean, let's look at Boston a couple years ago when they won a World Series. They went out and got Lester for that year. They're always the type of team, if they have a team that's capable of winning, they will buy. And they will buy big.
And a couple of my 2 wild cards, Astros and the Blue Jays. That's it. So 5, who you got?
All right.
AL West.
So, AL West, I'm going to have to
Just
go.
say it. You don't gotta tell us why.
I'm trying to mix
Texas?
the team. Yeah, I'm going to go with Texas.
Central. Cleveland, Kansas City.
I'm going to go with Cleveland. I hate when you say I get the divisions mixed up. That's why I'm mixed up.
helping you out here.
All right.
That's what I'm here for.
Taking Cleveland.
Yeah, the AL East. Who you got?
Like I said, I'm going to take Boston.
Cool. 2 wild cards, same as me.
I'm going to go Houston, and then you had Toronto.
I did.
I'm going to go Houston and
You think Detroit's going to surge?
Kansas City.
I like it.
Yeah.
Kansas City. I left the reigning AL champion.
I knew that. I knew there was a team I was getting. I'm going to go with Kansas
Let's
City.
run through the National League really quick. A couple of buy or sell teams. New York Mets, 41-37, won the NL pennant last year. I'll go real quick. I'm selling. They don't have that vibe that they had last year when Cespedes really went off and carried them into the postseason. I'm selling the Mets. I don't even think they make the playoffs this year.
I disagree. I buy. Let's remember that even though
They do have great young pitching.
Yeah, and last year they hit horrible for most of the year and were able to make it through.
Yeah.
It's only the beginning of July right now. There's still a lot of time left, and that rotation they have, I think, is going to be able to handle the storm. DeGrom is going to be fine. Syndergaard will get back on track, and Matt Harvey also, I think, is going to get back on track.
I sell is I think the Nationals are going to win that division, and I think there's too many other teams that are good enough that will get those 2 wild card spots, like the St. Louis Cardinals, and probably the Los Angeles Dodgers, because the Giants have been playing great ball right now too. So I just think they are better complete teams than the New York Mets, and the loss of Daniel Murphy, arguably the NL MVP right now,
And one of the
is
hottest
big.
hitters in baseball right now. In
Yeah.
fact, on ESPN stats, he's ranked as the top hitter in baseball.
All right, now, hey, Don Mattingly's done a great job with the Miami Marlins.
He really has.
I mean, they're 41-38, and that's with the D. Gordon suspension.
Yeah.
I mean, what Don Mattingly has done in Miami, and I'm not a Don Mattingly fan at all.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's with the Dodgers, but you gotta tip your cap to Don Mattingly.
Look at
right
where
now.
Miami was last year or this year. That says it alone right
41
there.
and 38.
And they haven't really made any
And Giancarlo
upgrades.
Stanton hasn't been hitting that great.
Yeah.
either.
The one thing I will say, the difference between them last year and this year is getting their ace back, Fernandez. This kid is a beast, and he's a guy
would
you
know.
can build around. I would know he's on my team this year, one of my best players, but more importantly, what he does for the city of Miami and what he does to keep this team afloat, he does what an ace should do. He shows up and wins games when they need him to win games.
All right, so
But I'm not sold on
buying or
Miami.
selling?
No. I'm selling Miami. I just
you're buying Jose, but you're selling the Marlins.
And I think a lot of people would make that argument.
Of course, that's
I just don't think, like you said, I don't think Miami's that well-rounded of a team. Their bullpen is
tell
pretty
you what.
shaky.
You
Their
wanna-
starting rotation, other than Fernandez, they don't really have
We're
any
gonna
guys
do
that
our
stand
first
out.
official bet on the Poff Pass show. We're
Let's
gonna
do
lay
it.
down. We're gonna go ahead and lay down
What do you got over there, big dog?
$20.
Oh, okay.
The Miami Marlins will have a better record at the end of the season than the New York Mets.
Oh, my God, I'll take
Good
it.
deal. So we will obviously.
All right, Mattingly, let's start seeing that managing you out in the Dodgers.
It ain't
that I'm used
October.
to.
It's not October
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
Now, we'll go through the Central real quick. We got 2 sellers or buyers. St. Louis Cardinals 40 and 38, and the Pittsburgh Pirates 38 and 41. Pirates been kind of a weird team. McCutchen hasn't really been the Andrew McCutchen of old, but they're pitching a ton of injuries. Garrett Cole getting hurt. Liriano hasn't been that great lately.
Yeah.
I'm definitely selling the Pirates.
I'm selling the Pirates too. They just
Take my 20 back before he takes it.
yeah. They just don't, like you said, with Cole getting hurt and them losing that ace they need in that rotation. McCutchen actually is having an off year too. He's not really hitting the ball as well as he had
He's
been.
batting right around 250.
Yeah, and he's usually a 300
Mark
guy.
Melanson, though, one of the best closers in baseball.
I also agree with that because he also was on my fantasy team. But really, you have to be able to get games into the 9th inning to be able to make your
right.
closer effective. They're not doing that right
Vibe
now.
I'm getting, you're selling all day.
I'm selling all day.
All right, St. Louis, and then we'll hit on one more team, buy or sell. You gotta buy the Cardinals. They're always in
See,
baseball.
here's my problem.
They're always there in October.
I want to buy the Cardinals, but I don't think they're
'Cause
going
they
to win
always
the
beat the
division.
Dodgers, too.
They're not going to catch the Cubs, and my 2 wildcard teams are going to be Dodgers, Mets. So
Selling?
I
I'm
have to
buying.
sell. But
Last-
honestly, the Mets probably won't make the playoffs, and the Cardinals will. But the Mets have a better record than Miami.
That's all he cares about.
That's my
Last
take.
team we're buying or selling. Open your shirt.
You know it, baby.
Dodgers. 44 and 37 right
It's-
now. Clayton Kershaw just went on the DL
Yeah.
with a mild herniated disc. That doesn't sound good.
It's
No
hard.
surgery, though, is good.
It's hard to buy the Dodgers right now, but here's a couple reasons why you can. Is one, they actually have a pretty good bullpen this year. Jansen has still been
It's
the
funny.
heart of the relief.
Yeah.
They actually have Joe Blanton has actually pitched amazing this year. He's one of the top relievers in baseball, which is hard for me to believe. But they have guys in the bullpen that can get it done. The bigger issue with the Dodgers right now is their starting rotation, and just because of injuries. But they're still able to manage to win games. And let's not forget, they have so many studs in this lineup, and they're all young guns. You look at the rise of Corey Seager this year. He's playing.
He's right there in the
He
NL
should
MVP
be.
talk.
He should be in the All-Star game too. I really hope he makes it. I don't know if yesterday was the last day to
Now,
vote.
hey.
Trace Thompson has played great this year too.
Yeah.
They have young guns, and I know he just got hurt. Jock Peterson is another young gun. So all their potential guys are hitting
And
well.
real quick, when you're talking about the bullpen, me included, I thought our bullpen, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say the Dodgers bullpen has been pretty bad this year. They're number 1 in the National League when it comes to bullpen ERA.
They've done good. The problem is just they've had a lot of games where the starters struggle,
Yeah.
so they're not really holding games and holding leads. They're just kind of pitching through games where they may be up 6 runs, they may be down 6 runs.
So you're buying.
I'm buying. Got it.
I'm buying too because the Dodgers, just like the Red Sox, as we mentioned,
Yeah, that
they're
was
going to be big-time buyers when the trade deadline gets here. Expect a guy like Sonny Gray or the Braves guy, Julio Teheran, to maybe be on the market
Yeah.
and the Dodgers to go.
And
get
then
some.
it goes right back to the scenario earlier where you have a guy like Kershaw, and then instead of having a guy like Greinke, they just need that other second starter to go in there and pitch some solid games for him too.
All right, 1 minute. We're going to get through this. We're going to break down our NL playoff predictions.
All right.
NL West, I'm going Giants. Who are you going with?
Oh, I can't take
They're
the Giants.
the best
so
team in the National League, in my opinion.
they are the best team. They have the best pitching, but I just can't take them. So
And if the Giants add a big-time closer, they're going to be hard to beat.
the one thing with the Giants, we'll see how Hunter Pence comes back from injury
Yeah.
too. Their bats can be inconsistent at times, but you look at
All
that
right,
pitching
my bad.
rotation.
I said a minute, so let's
Yeah.
get through this. NL Central, obviously I got the Cubs.
Yeah. Oh, you meant for NL West? I'll take Giants. Yeah, NL Central, I got Cubs.
NL East, Nats, Washington.
I have to take the Nats too.
Yeah.
Just
All
they
right,
got
two-
good pitching.
2 wild cards, Dodgers, Cardinals.
And I'm gonna take Dodgers Mets.
There we go.
Boom.
Now, real quick, World Series prediction. Just boom, throw it out there.
If I really had to pick, and I don't want to say this, I'm gonna go with. You know what? No, forget the Giants. I'm gonna take the Cubs, and I'm going to take Texas.
Nice. I was going to take Texas. I'm not now. Astros, Dodgers, both wild card teams in the World Series.
I'm hoping for that wild card. That would be awesome, but I have to
Hey,
be realistic.
Your battery's running low, so
Yeah.
we'll get that fixed. You know what else we're not going to fix is this guy doing some trivia. UFC trivia.
I just
coming
want
up next.
an F.
F. time it is.
I know.
Put your imaginary thinking cap on. Time for some UFC trivia. We've never done UFC trivia before. We've been watching UFC since it's been about 10 years now.
Yeah. Yeah, I also watched the NBA for 20 years. That didn't really help much, so...
All right, baby. Here we go. Question number 1. Who owns the record for most wins inside the UFC octagon? A, George St. Pierre. B, Anderson Silva. C, Randy the Natural Couture. Or D, Matt Hughes. GSP, the Spider, the Natural, or Matty Hughes.
When all else fails, there's only one thing you can do. Control the wrist! GSP! Yeah! Okay, I think he's won so many fights. The only guy who can beat him is Matt Serra.
Now, this fooled me. I didn't know this. He's actually tied with some guy named Michael...
Don't say Bisping.
Bisping.
Why didn't you put him on there? Because you knew there's no way I'd pick him.
I was helping you out there. If I
Yeah.
put Michael Bisping on there, you wouldn't have guessed it. So
Yeah.
I was being a good brother.
Yeah.
Michael Bisping and George St. Pierre, 19 wins inside
Crazy.
the octagon. Matt Hughes was second with 18.
So Bisping tied the record by getting
knocking
the belt.
Rockhold out, yeah.
Wow.
Question number 2. Who has the most knockouts in UFC history? A, Chuck Liddell, my guy. B, Anderson Silva. I saw you in the back, Big Kahuna, laying up the signs. You're going to have to go sit in timeout if you keep that up. C, Vitor Belfort. Or D, Cain Velasquez. A, Chuck Liddell. B, Anderson Silva. Vitor Belfort. Or D, Cain Velasquez. Most knockouts. I know if you get this right, he showed you the answer.
I'm going with... It's got to be Silva. B. Dang it.
Vitor Belfort.
Really?
He has 14. Anderson Silva has 11. Chuck Liddell has 10. Vitor Belfort, number 1, with 14.
What's funny is Dad did show me, but I would never have guessed that, so I went with the answer I really
I
would have
know.
thought.
That's why he had to go away.
Yeah.
Question 3. Who has the most submissions in UFC history? A, I see you grabbing paper back there. Nate Diaz. B,
No, he
Frank
gave up.
Mir.
Wait, I'm too busy looking at Dad. What's the question?
Most submissions, UFC history.
Okay.
Nate Diaz, Frank Mir, Hoist Gracie, or Kenny Ben Stiller Florian.
I was looking for Maya.
I should have thrown him on there. Diaz, Mir, Hoist Gracie, or Kenny Florian. Most submissions.
Frank Mir. Oh my gosh.
Come on, Hoist Gracie.
I didn't think he fought that
He's
long in the
he's
UFC.
He's the key. He was there when it started.
But I didn't think he fought that long. I thought he fought
He did.
like 2 or 3
And
years.
He had 11 submissions.
How much does Frank Mir have?
8. He's third.
Wow.
Nate Diaz is second all time with 9.
I didn't.
All right.
Man, I just didn't think Gracie fought that long. That's
Jake's
so
batting
stupid.
333 right now, 1 for 3.
All right.
Which UFC fighter has appeared in the most title bouts? A, John Jones. B, Randy Couture. C, BJ Penn. Or D, George St. Pierre.
I can't.
Most title bout appearances. John Jones, Randy Couture, BJ Penn, GSP. Clock's ticking.
BJ Penn. Oh my god! I thought that was a C on there.
That's what you
Just
get for
stop! You're
this,
just making me miss more.
This is why you don't cheat, kids. The answer is Randy Couture. 15 title fights.
I wouldn't have guessed that anyway.
He wasn't
Dang.
great in them. 9-6 overall. All right, here we
Wow.
go. This one I think you might get. Who owns the record for most consecutive title defenses? So most titles won in a row after winning the first one. Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, Anderson Silva, George St. Pierre, or Jose Aldo. I didn't even trick you. I didn't even throw John Jones on here.
It's got
DJ, Silva, GSP, Aldo, most consecutive title defenses. Just go with your heart.
It's got to be Demetrius Johnson.
Come on.
Someone's going with my heart.
Anderson Silva.
Demetrius Johnson's been champ for like 8
But
years.
the flyweight division's been around for like 3. Anderson Silva owned the middleweight division for a long, long time.
I was thinking Silva too. I just
Here we go. You got the first one right. Then you missed what, 4 in a row?
4.
Who's the youngest fighter to win a UFC bout? A, Jose Aldo. B, Frank Shamrock. C, Josh Barnett. Or D, John Bones Jones.
That's got to be John Bones Jones. Like, at least you gave me one about a fighter I watch.
You watched Jose Aldo?
I know.
John Jones, 23 years and 8 months old when he won his belt. Jose Aldo was the second youngest at 24 years and 2 months.
I missed the Silva one. Oh my gosh.
Who was the oldest fighter to hold a UFC belt? A. Randy Couture. B. Chuck the Iceman Liddell. C. Fabricio Verdum. Or D. Michael the Count Bisping.
It has to be Couture.
Ding.
Okay.
Got it.
Oh,
Take a guess how old do you think he was?
I know he's 40-something, 40?
He was 45.
Okay, I knew he's in his 40s when he won the
When
belt.
Brock Lesnar beat him. And that was the last time
Okay.
he held the belt. And Brock Lesnar got the belt. And hey, Brock Lesnar's going to get knocked out by Mark
Yeah.
Hunt. Now,
Full
last
circle.
one. Go out with a bang.
All right.
Who owns the fastest finish in a UFC title fight? A. Conor McGregor. B. Your lady, Ronda Rousey. C. Andre the Pitbull Arlovsky. Or D. Tito Ortiz.
Yeah.
Conor, Rousey, Arlovsky, Tito, fastest finish.
I know it was Ronda,
title fight.
and then McGregor beat Ronda, so I'm going with McGregor.
Got it.
Boom! All right.
Little hot streak.
4
Did
for
you get
8.
it?
4
Yeah,
for 8.
what's the math?
50%. That's a 50 I know, baby.
Moving on up.
That's
to-
an F. Moving on up
Still an F.
to a failure.
Still an
Woo!
F. So not only did he get an
I
F,
feel like Chris Farley from Tommy Boy. D-. Oh, wait, I didn't get a D-.
Hey.
I will.
Herbie Hancock, baby.
Yeah, this one's for you, Herbie.
Hey, we're gonna take one last break. We come back. It's time for what?
Come on, man.
And
He's a beast.
we'll be right back, baby. Pop, pop, pass in the house.
Can't get enough of baseball? Well, you're in luck because Solano's own Billy and Louise Yarborough Field will be hosting the Rally Factory Rockhounds Collegiate All-Star Team, managed by Sac State's pitching coach Andrew Ayers.
The team consists of NCAA D1 and D2 and NAIA players. Be sure to check out the Rockhounds and our other SESN programs on our YouTube page at youtube.com/Solano College Sports Network, on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Solano College Sports Network, or on Fairfield Cable Access Channel 28 if you live in the area. Thank you for supporting the Solano College Sports Network.
It's time. You're better at this than I am, so I'm gonna go first.
All right.
Now, he's a beast. It's not a he, it's a city. The city of Cleveland is my beast. Now, the Cleveland Cavaliers, you see the parade there, 1.5 million people came to show out. We'll single out one guy when Come On Man comes up, but we won't get there just yet. The Cavaliers won not just the first championship in their franchise, but it's been the first championship in Cleveland sports history in 52 years. That's crazy.
How are they beats, though, for being losers so long?
No, because they finally did it, and they became the first team ever in NBA Finals history to come back from a 3-1 deficit and win, and they have the best player in the NBA and the number 2 player of all time, LeBron James. And not only are we talking Cleveland Cavaliers, how about them Indians? Huh? They've won a franchise record 14 games in a row. The Cleveland Indians are doing things, the hottest team in all of baseball. Move over Texas, move over Giants. Cleveland is doing things. And hey, the Cleveland Browns haven't lost a game in 6 months. I know they haven't played, but hey, the Browns still haven't lost. Don't get any expectation though, Brown fans. They're still going to suck. But luckily the Cavaliers finally won a championship. And Steve Miocic, the UFC champ from Cleveland. Cleveland, the city, absolute beast. Erase the deficit of 52 years. Do your thing, Cleveland. Do it. He's a beast. Cleveland's a beast. What you got, Jake? Huh?
Oh, my gosh. I've never heard someone get so excited over such a loser city in my life.
I just said I'm a Clippers fan. What do you expect?
That's true.
There you go.
Touche.
What are you going to go? Or are you just going to sit there?
My beast is this little young cub. He shouldn't be called a cub. He should be called a grizzly bear. This guy, Chris Bryant, on the Chicago Cubs, is hitting like a madman right now. I don't know if y'all saw the game the other night, though. Dude went 5 for 5 with 3 home runs and 2 doubles, which, by the way, has never been done in MLB history. This little grizzly bear is slaughtering people on the field. I'm not sure if I'm watching baseball or The Revenant, because this bear is tearing people apart. I'm telling you, this kid, Chris Bryant, right now is going to be one of the best hitters in MLB history, and when you go 5 for 5 and break MLB records, and you start chomping on pitchers, you're a beast.
Whoa.
Woo.
You got pretty red there. I like it. Now, hey.
I love watching that kid play.
Before we get to Come On, Man, I wanted to you talk about Chris Bryant. How good is the third base position in baseball right now?
Insane.
You got Chris Bryant, Nolan Arenado, who I believe is the best player in all of baseball.
Definitely one of the best
when it comes to
hitters.
position players. And Josh Donaldson, obviously, having a big-time year
Justin
again.
Turner's starting to come around.
Manny Machado playing a little bit of shortstop right now, but J.J. Hardy's back, so he slid back over to third. Manny Machado, another guy. I mean, the third base position, arguably the best position, if maybe shortstop right now, but it's remarkable. All right, you ready?
Oh,
now,
God.
Mike, come on, man. I was originally going to do NBA free agency, how it equals overpaid, but I've been riding the city of Cleveland here, so we're going to go, come on, man. So, Brian.
Yeah, here's some more beast
will
for you
go
right
ahead and
here.
Play that clip? Will you zoom it out, make it big? Let's blow this out. Now, that's a Cleveland fan. They just won the championship, and you'll get a replay of this. He's not eating a Snickers bar. He is not. He's going back for some more.
Yeah.
That is horse.
A Snickers doodle.
That is horse bleep. That's horse bleep. Now watch him right here. Oh yeah, let's go Cleveland.
Yeah.
Ah,
There's your beast.
Come on,
city
man.
There for you, dude.
Who eats that?
Dude.
A horse probably would eat it, but dude.
A horse, of course. I mean,
come on, man. You guys just won the championship. You're gonna celebrate by eating horse crap?
You know what? You're right. Those people are beasts because it would take a beast to eat a pile of dung.
Oh, a pile of what?
A pile of dung. You're dung, man. Honestly,
Wait, what's a pile of dung?
You never heard the word dung?
I haven't.
It's slang for poo.
For poo?
I can't say the words I usually would say, all right?
Oh, he just had a nice pile of horse
Well,
dung.
dude, he literally just chopped down that horse dude.
Dude, come on, man. You're going to eat horse bleep?
That's what I'm telling you. You can't call this city a city of beasts or
Homie
city
just
of loser idiots.
Homie just ate some horse dung.
Man.
Who you got? You're crying, kind of.
When I woke up this morning and saw that Timothy Mozgov sounded
what's
like
his name?
Timothy Mozgov.
Wait, what's his first name?
I don't care.
Wait.
Timothy.
Timothy.
Tim a loser.
Look at him missing layups right there.
When Timothy, I felt like going out and eating a pile of horse dung when I woke up this morning and saw that
horse dung.
Timothy Mozgov signed with the Lakers.
For how much?
For $64 million. We went from Wilt Chamberlain, Shaquille O'Neal, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, to Dwight Howard,
Don't forget about George Mikan.
Roy Hibbert, and now
Wait. Yeah.
Mozgov. What is going on? The Lakers are
That's
no
what I call
longer legends.
downgrading.
Yeah, all I'm gonna say is, Warrior fans out there, just enjoy the ring you have because before you know it, you're gonna wake up one day and Steph Curry's
Don't
gonna
tell
retire.
Warrior fans before you know it. You
No,
know who
I'm
you're
telling you,
talking
because
to?
when I was a little kid and seeing the joy of rings, I had no idea it would get to this point.
Wait,
where I'm waking up to our best player being signed is Timothy Mozgov.
Timothy.
I don't care. I can't take this. Come on, man, Lakers. Just don't sign anyone.
Hey, Nick.
Just why?
Nick, you said it was a good pickup. You're crazy, bro.
All I want to say is, Jim Buzz Short Jr., just stop running things.
It
just
should be Jim
please.
Short Bus, not
Just-
Jim Bus Short Jr.
Lakers, just either hire me as GM or
that's the answer.
Or put Genie back because this is just out of control, man. This is out of control. It's out of control.
Oh, I don't even know how you can't top that. So we just got to end the show.
It's
we had a
all
little
over.
bit of horse dung and a little bit of Timothy.
I honestly woke up this morning feeling like that guy who ate horse dung when I saw that Timothy Mozgov signed $64 million.
Wow, come on, man. Come
He's
on,
getting
Lakers.
paid more than Steph Curry next year.
Hey, I tell you what, though, this guy could be a LA Clipper here before the weekend.
You know what? That's going to top off my horrible day if Durant goes to the Clippers.
That just shows how far the Lakers have dropped. If Kevin Durant won't even talk to the Lakers.
Listen,
and he's sitting right now.
my last
having
thing
a little bit
before
of
we go.
dinner with the
Look,
Clips.
just because you can't sign anyone doesn't mean you go sign the biggest doofus out there just so someone will go to your loser team.
The Dukas.
Save the money for next year.
All right, hey, we're out, baby. JT Plays in the house. Thanks to my guy Brian Nelson and the old man Big Kahuna, a.k.a.
Keep
Greg
doing your thing,
Poff.
Chris Bryant.
Yeah! Chris Bryant, one of the best guys in all the game. He's JT. I'm Zach Poff. We out. Dodgers, Astros, World Series. Book it. I shouldn't have booked it.